Hi, babes. Welcome to the Chase Life with Kelly show. I'm your host, Kelly Chase. Today, we are going to be talking about singledom, your single journey. And I know that there are probably many women that listen to this podcast that are in very committed relationships and very married. But the thing about what I'm about to share is we're going to talk about self-love. And yes, it's probably going to apply more to the women that are actually still single and are dating or looking to date, but it can apply to everybody. So last night I don't watch TV very often. I mean, when I do, I tend to find a series and I'll binge it, and then it'll maybe 2 months before I start watching anything else. But I have been going nonstop recently. And ever since probably before Switzerland, really, I started traveling to Jacksonville for work every other week, which is great. I'm honestly very grateful that I am going every other week and not every week, because I think that that would really burn me out. And I don't want to get burnt out with my career. I don't think that that's a beautiful thing for anybody to want. We don't want to get burnt out. That plays really heavily into your self-love journey. So anyways, just with that being said, I decided to sit on my couch last night after going through the 15, I think it's 15, 14 or 15 bags of clothes that I did from my closet clean out, or that I have from my closet clean out from, what was it, 4 months ago now, that I've just been sitting in my guest bedroom. And anyways, went through those and went literally through every single bag and separated the ones that I want to potentially sell, and then the ones that I just want to donate. At the end of the day, I'm probably just going to wind up donating a majority, because 5 bags worth is a lot to sell. And when am I going to have the time to do that too? So we will see. But with all that being said, I was like, I need to finish working, doing chores, doing errands, and that kind of thing, and then sit my arse on a couch and just chill. So I don't know. I went to Netflix and I was going to watch some series. I wanted or watch a particular movie that made me cry. I like doing that sometimes, watching drama series that will evoke sadness or even happy tears, right? Because I feel like as much as I preach on here and everywhere that it's safe to feel and it's safe to cry, I mean, I have my own, I'm also a human and I have my own defense mechanisms, I guess. So oftentimes, more than not, I have a tendency to shove the emotion down and bypass it. So I was looking for more of a drama to make myself cry, because that is helpful for me. Anyways, so I came across the movie, though, How to Be Single. And I was like, wait, I feel like I've seen this before, but I don't really remember. So I watched a little bit of the trailer and I was like, oh yeah, I have. But for whatever reason, I just felt called to watch it again. I mean, I probably watched it 10 years ago, or however, 8 years ago or something. So I was like, I think this, I don't know. I just felt a calling. And I feel like all of us women listening to this right now, I highly encourage you to go watch that movie again, because again, even if you're not single, it's just very relatable as a female to watch it. So it has, what's her face, Dakota Johnson, Leslie Manns, and Rebel Wilson in it. Hilarious. It's really good, but also I did shed a couple of tears, and that felt really good for me, especially at the end of the movie. And if you haven't seen the movie, that's okay. Let's just say it is a self-love journey, and I really relate to that. I really connect to that, and the empowerment that comes from singledom. It really is so empowering to choose yourself, to put up boundaries around yourself, and honor those. Don't just create the boundaries, because a lot of us have a tendency to put up a boundary, but then we actually don't honor it. And then we create resentment towards other people because they're overstepping your boundaries, but you're the one who is allowing that to happen. So it's really, really helpful if you remember to honor your boundary too. It is even more empowering to do that. So, but doing things for you, and, whatever that self-love or self-care routine looks like for you on a daily basis, if you don't have one, I highly encourage you to start. Mine can't stem from 2000 and God, the end of 2017 or the beginning of 2018 when I read the book The Miracle Morning, which I have talked about before. The Miracle Mornings shares this method called the Life Savers method. Savers is actually an acronym, and if you perform all of these 6 ideas each day, typically before you pour yourself into anyone else, so like right when you first wake up, then your day is led by you versus the world leading your day, and having more control over your day. Because many times I know I have done this, and I mean, I do this from time to time, of course, but I will immediately pick up my phone. And granted, my phone has my alarm clock on it, so of course I'm going to grab my phone first. But what I want to do, and 80% of the time I do this, but I take the phone and I put it down and I get up and I'll go to a workout class, or I'll go to YouTube and I'll start my meditations, my visualizations and all of that. But I would guess that many of us look at your text messages or go to Facebook or go to Instagram or go to TikTok like immediately. And that is immediately having control of your life. It's controlling you. You are letting an external factor control you because you are scrolling all these other people's lives. And although you may not intentionally be saying, I wish I had that, gosh, I wish my relationship looked like that, or I wish I lived in a house like that, or gosh, how does that mom seem so perfect? Oh my God, that woman has flawless skin, all this stuff. And we start going to this like subconscious programming of these stories being created literally unconsciously. And it's stealing our thunder. Basically, it's stealing our self from us. So the savers are, and I've probably shared this many times before, but I'm just going to go into it again. But because I want to talk about the self-love journey, and I really want to encourage you to take it on just as I am. I mean, I am like full throttle into more self-love recently. I do this like, I feel like every like 8 months, I go like really deep into it. But it needs to be something that we do literally all the time. And like, I mean, I'll do it for like a handful of months. I'm always working on myself, but the savers concept is S is for silence, prayer, breath work, meditation. A is for affirmations, V, visualization, E, exercise, R, reading. And the last S is for scribing, AKA journaling. So scribing is actually a tool. It is a manifestation method where you are scribing, you're writing in cursive, you're writing out your future self, what you like, how you want to be, everything in present tense as if it's already happened. And that helps to actually call in, because when you're doing it, it actually shifts the vibration because you get excited. And once an idea becomes emotionally attached, that's the like vibration that starts to like pick up the traction for the manifestation to come true fruition. We are always manifesting. So if I'm sitting here saying like, God, I suck, the manifestation could be something to prove that for me, or something that is something to prove that for me. But what we want to see is that, and so whenever I say like negative things to myself, I generally will I have hyper awareness, and the hyper awareness comes from the fact that I've been doing all this self-study. Basically, the lifesavers concept is self-study. When you study yourself, you master yourself. And when you can master yourself, you master your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. I'm not totally there yet, but I am mastering my awareness. And that is an incredible thing. Self-mastery, like game changer. So as you continue to pour love into yourself, maybe you start doing the lifesavers, method as well. I suggest you do. I mean, it literally changed my life. That's why I keep coming back to it. I would say that I've never like fallen completely off the wagon and not done any of it. I will at least like lay there and meditate for 20 minutes, or I will write in my journal or whatever. Or I'll go move my body that day. So I've never not done it. But I mean, since reading that book, it is profound. It literally will save your life. And it will put you on this trajectory of pouring into yourself before you pour into anyone else's cup. Because at the end of the day, let's say you don't pour into yourself at all, then you are literally like exhausted, you're drained, all of that because you have not poured into yourself. So, with all that being said, highly encourage it. But what are, think about some things that you do that are self-love and self-care that pour into you before you pour into the world. This movie, again, this is kind of where I want to go with this. Sorry, I get like off track because I improv. Maybe you should take notes, Kelly, but I don't because whatever. Because if you were talking to me right now, like I wouldn't be sitting here with a list of notes, right? So it is what it is. Anyway, so going back to the boundaries thing, it's about being so in your boundaries. And this movie highlighted something that, not that I forgot, but just it was a helpful and empowering reminder because I resonated with this woman so much. And my therapist, a year or so ago, she brought this very forward. I mean, in our session, I was talking about the fact that like dating for me wasn't necessarily like working out the way that I wanted to. And I was telling her like, yeah, this guy, he like rejected me, but then it was like divine timing. And I met this other guy at the or at this club or whatever. And I don't go to clubs very often, but I was there. I don't know, it was a girl's birthday. It was a friend's birthday. But anyways, so I was at this club and I like meet this other guy. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, then she basically enacted and she like walked over to one corner of the wall and she was like, will you love me? Oh, you won't? Okay. And then she walked over to the next corner of the wall and she was like, but will you love me? And then she was like, you won't either? Okay. And then she walked over to the next one. Well, will you love me? She was like, you're constantly looking for external love and validation. And I was like, I didn't think I was, but oh my gosh, you're right. And that's what happens in this movie where Rebel Wilson says to Dakota Johnson, you fall into the dick sand. And I started cracking up and I was like, oh my gosh, like that's exactly what it was. I want to say like bounce from guy to guy to guy to guy. I have been very single many times but I feel like, though, that maybe there's someone always that has captured my attention. So maybe I may be available to go over and to hang out at a friend's house because I know that person will be there, or I want to go to some restaurant, bar because I know that person will be there. Versus being like, well, Kelly, what does Kelly want to do? Does she really want to go to the restaurant? Does she really want to go to that bar? Does she really want to go to this friend's party? Or would she prefer to be like going to a cooking class or drawing or cleaning her house or hanging out with her parents or hanging out with like high-minded individuals that are really doing something with their life? So I want you to take that into consideration for you. Again, if you are single as a Pringle like me, then what are you rejecting of yourself? Like, where are you abandoning yourself to please other people, to look for external love and validation from someone else? And if you're in a committed relationship and or a marriage, where are you abandoning yourself in that marriage where it feels like you feel alone, you feel lonely, you're kind of just going through the motions of the relationship, but like, do you really know who you are? Do you really know what you want? Is this relationship and or marriage, is it actually what you want? Challenge yourself. I want to challenge you. I want to empower you to actually know who you are. And I remember having conversations with former clients of mine where they were in relationships or they were married. And one of the biggest fears for them was outgrowing their partner, because this personal development, the self-love journey, this personal development space, that happens. You outgrow. I mean, I have seen, well, at least one woman, I want to say a couple, 2 or 3 women that I have sat in women empowerment conferences with, or even had on my podcast, or mentors of mine that have gone so into this of learning who they are, of studying themselves, of loving themselves so much that they realize that they really aren't in love with their spouse. They really aren't in love with the person that they're with. And some have become, they choose to date like the same sex, or be with the same sex, or they choose to leave their spouses. Like, very amicable, though I can't say that word. Very, like, it's very kind how they do it, though. Like, it's like, hey, like, this is where I'm at, this is where you're at, and they've been able to leave on very good terms because they both saw it. Like, of course it's sad, of course it's like an ending of a chapter, but wow. Like, one woman, and I think I did talk about this after the Fempowered event. Maybe I didn't, so I'm just gonna bring it up again, but because that was a year ago. Anyways, this woman who was one of the keynote speakers, her then like partner, they are now engaged, but then partner was in the crowd, but that was not her original partner. She had children with a prior husband, and she was like, we were together, I think they were together for like 10 or 15 years. And she was like, I realized that I was doing everything for him, nothing for me. And she was like this, she's a big like fashionista, but anyway, she's like a very embodied spiritually now, and her energy is just a vibrant. It is incredible because she's so in her truth now. She knows who she is, and she attracted this person that met her where she was at, versus her trying to like, her not knowing who she was and constantly trying to please and just, well, of course, support and be there for her husband at the time, but she knew she had to do something different. And I'm not here advocating that everybody go like break up with their partners or their boyfriends or spouses, get divorced or anything like that. But I don't know. I have a different way of thinking, I guess, than mainstream media, mainstream people. I'm, very unconventional over here. And I do think that if you have tried everything to make a relationship work, literally all the things, then I would rather you like separate and go live a wonderful freaking life for yourself, because literally you only have one. I mean, yeah, if you believe in reincarnation, maybe so, but like the human that you are right now, you only have this one life. You're gonna have a different life if you reincarnate. So you may be a bird when you come back. So just saying, you only have one life. So if I can empower you and inspire you to take control of your life right now, and even if you're single, even if you're married, doesn't matter your relationship status, I am suggesting, strongly encouraging you to get a self-care routine and start doing things for you. Of course, maybe you're going to say, well, that kind of sounds a little selfish, Kelly. It's not selfish, because the more that you study yourself, the more that you love yourself, the more you are going to potentially and hopefully shift. Well, you will. You're going to shift the vibration, because you're going to be elevating at such a higher frequency that you're going to attract the right type of people into your life. High-minded, like-minded, people that are vibrating on a completely different frequency than what 3 years ago, 6 months ago. Start this journey today, and you will attract more of what you are looking for, and you will have hyper awareness of when it is not that. And sometimes, like myself, I have definitely done this. I hold on to things because I have seen the potential. But you can't do that. You can't date based on the potential of someone. You have to date based on the result. Like, hey, this is what I want. Is it here? Is it not? Is that person willing to move in this direction? Are they not? Like, let's cut out the noise, cut out the BS, and like, let's freaking go. Be very intentional about your time. When you are very intentional about your time, that means you have very beautiful boundaries that you honor. So honor that. So that is something that I am vowing to myself. And I hope that you will do this with me, is that you will vow to yourself that you will create some boundaries around business, career, relationships, and put together a self-care routine, a daily self-care routine. What can I do every single day to pour into myself first in the morning? What can I do to do that? Start doing it every single day. Also, take yourself on self-love dates. Solo dates are one of my favorite things. I'm going to start doing a little bit more of that myself. I technically kind of do a lot of that just because of like travel for work, but getting dressed up here in Atlanta and taking myself to a restaurant, maybe that I've never been to before or something, by myself. I even was talking to a girlfriend on Friday about this. I was like, I really would love, and I've thought about this a couple of times, but I would really love to do like a solo date series and reach out to some of the restaurants and or bars here in Atlanta and just be like, hey, I am doing this series, would love to feature you, on my Instagram because I'm gonna be posting about it and that kind of thing. So anyways, that's just a thought. I may or may not do it. I mean, as far as like reaching out to the brands, or the restaurants, but I am going to start doing that because I really want to empower you guys. And if I'm not doing, then how am I empowering you? How am I inspiring you if I'm not walking the walk too? So highly suggest solo dates. I highly suggest going to a white tablecloth restaurant too. That is the best. A lot of people are like, oh my God, I could never do that. I could never go on a solo date and be like, hey, party of one and go to a really fancy restaurant. I swear to you, people, that is like a power move. It is a power move. Take yourself on a solo date and don't give a F about what anybody thinks. Literally. You don't have to entertain anyone. You are on no one else's time but your own. Unless the restaurant, of course, is like, you have an hour time limit at this table or something. But regardless, you are only entertaining yourself. And that is the most fun freaking thing ever. When you're just like, okay, I can like order what I want. Because sometimes I know there are women out there that they like don't like to eat in front of other people, or they don't want to order the thing that they would really love to order because the person across from them may judge them. Like, who the fuck cares? Who cares? Like, just order the food you want, order the drink that you want, have the best time of your life on this day. Get dressed up, put the lipstick on, put the heels on, wear whatever you want, and take yourself on a date. Married, in a relationship, really, really single, take yourself on solo dates like once a month. If you can do that, once a month. Challenge you once a month. Tag me on Instagram. Take a picture of yourself on a solo date and tag me. I would love it. Chase Life with Kelly or Chase Life with Kelly podcast. Tag me, tag me, tag me, tag me. I'd love to see it. Anyway, so I hope that inspires you to do it. Again, I will be doing it myself. So cheers to that. Anyways, singledom is a beautiful thing. It's freedom. And you can create this singledom, this freedom, even if you're in a committed relationship, even if you are married. The more that you do this, the more you will have a stronger foundation of who you are, because you will know who you are. You're studying yourself. You're studying what you like, what you don't like. Take yourself on all these dates. And then when you are with someone, you have to, the self-awareness plays a really big factor, because you may be really, really like, oh, I know myself, but then you may crumble a little bit when you're around a significant other. So, and also, I mean, if you're married or in a relationship, like how can you, like you have to do things on your own, like you have to create these things, but like maybe you and your partner decide like, hey, we're going to do like 20 minutes of reading. Or you're going to do 20 minutes of reading. Maybe you say, hey, babe, like, would you want to do this with me? And now you are both leveling up, maybe at similar rates, maybe not, but at least you're doing it together, but separately. You know what I mean? Like you could be journaling off in like different corners of your house, or you can be reading in different corners of your house, or maybe even in the same space, but at least you're doing something for yourself but with your partner, helping them grow, inspiring them to grow as well. But you can't be afraid. The biggest thing is fear of leaving where you're at to find something greater and that you know you're worthy and deserving of, but the fear of letting all that rest of that go. It is temporary pain, though. The fear is temporary pain. Going after what you desire is lifelong joy, happiness, peace. Not all the time, of course, but so are you going to sit with temporary pain, or are you going to sit with permanent pain if you decide to stay where you're at and you stay stuck and keep repeating the same behavioral patterns? If you're single, if you're single and you're dating and you keep attracting the same type of person, that's a you problem. It really is. The energy inside of your body is attracting that type of person into you. So the more that you can focus on you, shift the energy in your body because you are focusing on you, you're studying yourself, you are rewriting a new story for yourself, you are freaking loving yourself more than ever before, then the vibration starts to shift and you start attracting different types of people. It works. I've witnessed it. I'm my best project. And I want you to be your best project. It's not necessarily like working on you, because someone said this in like a mentor group earlier today. It was like, when you say you work on yourself, it's like you're fixing yourself and there's nothing to fix. It's remembering who you are. So you're working on remembering who you truly are. That is what self-love is. That is what personal development is. You are remembering who you are. So remember how amazing it is going to be when you discover what you like, what you don't like in every area of your life. And when you're really just dating yourself, like even if you are in a relationship, like go on dates by yourself. Be like, babe, I gotta go like do this thing. But also take me on a date. It's just powerful. It helps you. It helps build your confidence. It helps build your resilience. It just makes you a stronger human being all around. And again, it just increases your awareness. And when you have that awareness, you have the power to change your result, period. So again, although I know I'm human and I have my faults and I have held on to the potential of people, I'm hyper aware of it. I know what I need to do to change it, and I'm doing that. And here we are. So 1, create that self-love practice for yourself. Take yourself on some solo dates, tag me on Instagram, and go watch that movie. What is it? How to Be Single. How to Be Single. All right. I love you, ladies. I love the guys that tune into the podcast. Love you all too. But thank you for being here. I hope that this empowered you and encouraged you to put up those boundaries and go after what you freaking want in life, and don't be afraid of it. It's scary. It's going to be it's painful. It hurts if you have to like let someone go or start navigating and creating a different life for yourself. But I swear it's so worth it. And it's just better. Everything gets better when you start choosing you. So anyways, a lot of this you can find in the Goddess Magic course as well. There's a whole like 4 modules in particular on self-love and relationships and all of that. But the handful of other modules in there is all about the mindset and reprogramming the subconscious mind and, the limiting beliefs around things. So a lot of us have limiting beliefs around relationships, dating, love, all of that. It's all connected. So definitely give the program a look. I wanted to tell you guys. So I've actually reduced the price down. So please go check it out. I reduced the price because I just want more people's hands on it. It wasn't like, people can't afford it. It's literally, I just want more people's eyes and ears on the Goddess Magic program, because this information changed my life. And I put it in a digital course because I want it to help change yours. So I've reduced the price. Go check it out. If you have any questions, obviously you feel free to DM me on Instagram. But I love you guys. Thank you for showing up week after week. I am gonna start having more guests on again. But yeah, I've kind of like just doing these solo episodes and chit-chatting with you. So Anyways, I love you and have a great day. Bye.